Hey guys, it's Leela. Welcome back to my channel. Hey guys, it's Leela. Welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, we're gonna be reviewing the Jeffree Star Morphe collab. I'm so excited, if you guys couldn't tell by that really obnoxious singing of mine. But I'm so excited. The one thing that really intrigued me about this palette is that it's literally everything I've been looking for in a palette for a cool minute. Like, I haven't seen a palette that has everything I want in a while, because I've been looking for one that like literally has everything I want. And then Jeffree Star answered my prayers and launched this palette, so I am super excited. I bought the entire collection, you guys. Like, I'm not even joking. I bought everything from the new launch. I'm so excited because I did this look today with the palette, and I really enjoyed playing with it and getting to know all the shades and everything like that. It's amazing. I'm so excited to share everything with you guys. And then I also did test out a new foundation as well. It's on my face right now, so you guys will see me do all that stuff when I demo everything on my face. I am gonna go through swatches with you guys of the entire palette, all 30 shades. Yes, it's 30 shades, and I can't wait because they're beautiful. All of them are gorgeous color. So if you guys want to see my thoughts on the new Morphe and Jeffree Star collaboration, then just keep on watching. Open up. You open up. Okay, so we're gonna start with this packaging. So the box actually looks just like this. Very clean, nice and holographic. I love this look. It's so pretty. And then when you open her up, guys, look, isn't she beautiful? She's not perfect because I already used her a little bit, but isn't this so pretty? So 30 pan palette, only $35. What? 30 pans, Jeffree Star, $35? That's insane. Like, plus if you guys use his code JSTAR, no sponsorship, nothing, I'm not getting anything for this, but if you guys actually use this code in store or online, you do get an additional 10% off. So this guy comes out to $31.50. Like, what? It's like $1 each shadow. It's insane. In addition to his eyeshadow palette, he did release an eyeshadow brush kit as well. It does have 9 eyeshadow brushes plus 1 brow brush with a spoolie on the end, which is really cool. He also re-released or did his own version of the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, and he re-released his makeup sponges that are really dirty because they just used them. But it's a makeup sponge trio. So all of these items were in his new launch. So he had 4 new little things. So I was super cool and I got to pick all of it up. So let's get on with the swatches. Also, guys, if it looks dark, I'm so sorry. Like, the sun is going down and I'm trying to film this because I'm actually gonna go out right now. So I was trying to get this in because I really wanted to use this palette before I went out tonight. But the swatch, like when I do the demo, it's gonna be really bright outside. So the colors of this video might be a little funky, so I apologize in advance. All right, so I'm gonna go row by row and swatch them on my arm, and that way we keep it a little clean. So let's get started. Okay guys, so here is the first row swatched on my arm. We're gonna go in order. The shade names are Welcome Back to My Channel, Wand Noise. That's like the most clever thing I've I love it. I love that he like did an homage to like his intro, which I think is so funny. But these are the first 6 shades of the palette. I did use the shades Welcome Back and 2 from this row, and they actually all performed beautifully on like my eye. Okay guys, this is row 2. So they look a little bit light on the skin. A couple of these I haven't used, like for example these guys and this bottom one. But I did use these 2 and they are very pigmented. They don't have a lot of fallout, so that's good. But I have a feeling like, you know, sometimes things just don't swatch well. Like from the lighter shades that I've already used that were in the previous row that seemed to swatch a little bit lighter, they actually performed really well on the eyes. So I wouldn't take these swatches for what they are, just because I feel like they'll perform better on the eye. So we're gonna go in order. So the first shade is Lynn, 1985, Mogul, Self-Made, Dog Mom, and Honest Truth. So those are the 6 of the second row. So my camera decided to stop filming. So I'm just gonna pick up where I left off. So, okay, row 3 shadows from the top down. Designer Label, Mr. Diva, Boss Angeles, Pink Fleet, Calabasas, and Don't Know Her. So I did use shade Calabasas on my outer V, and I did use Designer Label on my brow bone. Again, all of them worked really, really well. This color looks super, super good on the brow bone. I was in love. All right, on to my 4th and favorite row. Starting from the top down, Rolls With It, Millions, Girl, What's the Tea, Vroom Vroom, and Custom Rims. So, of course, Millions is what is on my lid right now. She came out beautifully, super pigmented, great payoff. And I have Custom Rims mixed with the shade 2 in my inner corner. The metallics in this palette, I can't get over. So one thing I do want to say about the glitter is it did have a sticky consistency. I did say this when I demo them, but it didn't come out the way I wanted to say it. It feels like a cream shadow for sure. It was described as a pressed glitter, but it has a creamy texture and consistency to it, which makes it a little bit moist, which actually helps it grip to the eye better. I can even feel some kind of stickiness when I put it on, and if you guys will see when I demo it, there was barely any fallout, maybe a few flecks here and there, but honestly overall no fallout, which is crazy for a pressed glitter. But it's because it has that stickiness, it has some kind of grip where it stayed on the lid no problem. I love that formula, whatever it is. I'm in love. All right, last and final row from the top down. Glam Rapids, Wake and Bake, Nate, Drive Through, Hi Dude, and Fast Lane. So I did use Fast Lane for my winged liner. So that actually came out really, really nice. It's very pigmented, as you guys can see, for a black shadow. It's super dark. It performed on the eyes really, really well. So those are all the swatches for all of the shades in the palette. Overall, I do really love, ooh, she's a little messy now. But overall, I do really love the shade range in this palette. It's beautiful. Every single shade I really didn't have a problem with, especially the ones that I used. Yeah, honestly, 10 out of 10 for the palette. I love it. Moving on to the next item. This is the Morphe X Jeffree Star Eye Brush Collection. So this has 10 different eye brushes included, but there are technically 9 eyeshadow brushes and then 1 eyebrow brush with a spoolie on the end. So these are all of the brushes. This is the packaging, super, super pretty pink with that nice metallic rose gold at the top. Super, super cute. There are a variety of crease brushes, packer brushes, eyeliner brushes. There is literally almost one brush for everything that you could possibly need for your eyes in this collection, which is really, really nice. They also, all of the crease brushes do have a different consistency and texture, density, things like that. And then some are natural hair, some are synthetic. So of course, for certain things, one or the other would work better. The collection retails for $42, but with that discount code, it does come out to $37.80, which isn't bad for 10 eyeshadow brushes. We all know that Morphe is a really good brush maker. So for that price, I feel like that's pretty reasonable, especially with Jeffree Star's name slapped on it, of course. And the pink, how can you say no to the pink? So I didn't get to use all of the brushes today just because obviously my eyeshadow look called for certain ones. So I didn't get to use them all today, but I will review the ones that I did use. I just don't feel like it's fair to give the brushes I didn't use a thumbs up if I didn't use them. So starting off with the first brush I used, this is the JS9 the Fluffer Crease Brush. So this is a crease brush, obviously. It's very, very fluffy, very, very soft, not super dense. I believe this is the natural hair one. It does shed. I've noticed that. I did try to clean it with my little, in between eyeshadow color cleaner, and I've noticed that some of the bristles are starting to come out, so that's one thing I want to keep in mind, but that's to expect with natural hair brushes. brushes, they don't really adhere to the base as well as synthetic hair. So that's to be expected, and it is really dense. I don't feel like the few hairs that have fallen out have made a huge difference in the performance of the brush, but that's just something to keep in mind. But it is that really nice, you know, tapered look, so it's really good for blending out transition shades and things like that. I did use this to blend out my transition shade, as you guys will see when I demo the brushes with the eyeshadow, but I really did like this brush. I do like the thickness, the consistency, the density. It was perfect for just doing that transition shade, but it did control the eyeshadow. It didn't spread it everywhere like some fluffier crease brushes might do. Okay, moving on to the next brush that I used. This is JS5, the Crease Queen brush. So this one looks very, very similar to our last one, but it is a little bit more stiff. If you guys can see, it's not as fluffy, but it is still pretty soft. I use this for the pink. It did really deposit the color well. It blended it really nicely, but again, because it's a little bit more stiff, but it's still a little bit fluffy, it did blend really well and keep the color contained without spreading it everywhere, which I really appreciated, especially with a pigmented color like this. It really did do it a justice for not spreading the color everywhere and making it, you know, messy. I believe this one is actually in his first collection that he released previously with Morphe, so it's the same brush, just packaged differently, but I might be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But I know one of these is from the old collection. But I did really like this brush. I feel like I will be using this a lot in the future, especially to deposit a nice crease color, to keep it nice and focused so that way it's not messy. So the next brush that I used is the JS12. This is the Sport Mode Blender brush. So this is a really small blending brush. I use this for depositing the color into the outer V as well as putting it under the lash line. I love this brush for under the lash line because it's so tiny, but it is fluffy, so it's not gonna just keep the color in one spot. It is gonna deposit it in that nice airbrushed kind of way under the lash line. That way it looks nice and blended, not just like a harsh line of shadow underneath. And it was really good to focus into the outer V as well because it's so small. It focuses like right here. It's like the perfect size. I really liked this one as well. I feel like I'm gonna use this one probably the most, especially for under my lash line. And the last one that I used is the Double Trouble brush. So this is actually an eyebrow brush, but I totally forgot there was an eyebrow brush in the collection, and I did my eyebrows off camera before I started filming. I'm so sorry, but it does come with a really cute pink spoolie. I did actually use this for my wings liner, so I feel like this could be a multi-use brush. It is precise enough to do, you know, gel liner or powder liner. I did use the black, like I said, from the palette with this brush, and it did a really good job. I feel like I did keep it nice and tight. It did give me enough color and deposit enough color so that the eyeliner was dark enough, but overall I did like this one as well. I feel like this would be a really good eyebrow brush because of how precise it is. So these are the additional 6 brushes that I didn't get to use. I did try to use this guy and this guy for purposes that were not what they're for. I did figure out at the end that this is actually for cutting your crease, not for putting eyeshadow in the inner corner, just because it's a little too stiff for that, but it is a really good density for cutting the crease, so that is one thing to keep in mind. I can't remember what I used this one for, but it didn't work for what I was doing, but I feel like this is a packing brush for shadow on the lid, so I feel like it would be really good for that because it is dense but flexible, so I would just keep that in mind. I feel like I really am gonna get good use out of all of these brushes. I'm really super excited to do more looks with them and see how they do. But overall, I do really like the ones that I use, and I am really excited to use the ones that I haven't gotten to use yet. Moving on to the next new product. This is the Jeffree Star X Morphe Set and Refresh Mist. It is what he called a starberry scent, which actually smells glorious. It is a continuous mist, more like an aerosol can, like the traditional Morphe setting spray. Oh, this stuff smells so good. I feel like it did set my face really nicely. I just feel like I need to use this more before I can say like I really like this. I don't think it'll be replacing my everyday setting spray, but I feel like it's good to like have to refresh in the middle of the day and things like that. So, I mean, it's a pink can. It's so freaking cute. Like, But I do really like the scent of this. Obviously that's kind of like the appeal to it. But the original Morphe setting spray is really good, so I don't see why this one would be any different. If anything, if Jeffree Star put his name on it, it's probably even better. But I feel like I need to get a little bit more use out of this before I can say that I really like this. And last but not least, we do have the mini sponge trio. So this is the bigger face sponge. Here is an original Morphe sponge. It is the same size like this when it's dry. I did wet this one to do my foundation today, obviously, but this is the size it is when it's dry. I did feel it when it was dry, and honestly, it's a lot softer than the original Morphe sponge, which I actually kind of like because you have more of like that bounciness to apply your product, whereas it's still not as soft as an original Beauty Blender. I want to say even dry, like the Beauty Blender is still softer and more bouncy. So that's just something to keep in mind, but in a way, it's kind of good because sometimes I feel like Beauty Blenders, when they're too bouncy, they don't disperse. I don't know. Sometimes the Beauty Blender being too bouncy is not a good thing when it comes to certain products. So I would just keep that in mind. It does really remind me of the Real Technique sponge when it's wet, as far as consistency, density, things like that. But I really did enjoy the Jeffree Star version. I do feel like it's a little bit different than the original Morphe sponge. The little guy, however, I did not like. I used it to apply my concealer and blend out, like, you know, my contour and things like that. And it sucked up so much of the product that I feel like it took away a lot of the coverage. I used my e.l.f. 16-hour, like, you know, camo concealer, and that's really full coverage, and you could really see like all of my imperfections under my eye and things like that after I blended it out with this. I used this sponge right after with another layer, and it blended it out perfectly. So I feel like because it's so small that it just sucks up too much product for me to use it as a, you know, a liquid product sponge. But maybe for like setting powder and things like that, like right under the eye, if I really want to focus where I'm putting powder, I think it might work out well. But I would not recommend this for liquid products. One thing I forgot to mention is the prices. So for the mist, it is $18. With Jeffree's code, it is $16.20. And then the sponge trio is $16, but with Jeffree's code, it's $14.40. So altogether, I think I paid $107 with tax for everything, which is not bad for the amount of products I got, I feel like. But to each their own. But I feel like it's relatively reasonable for Morphe and for Jeffree Star and the collab. I feel like that's a really good price. All right, now that we've gotten through all the logistical stuff, I am going to enter the clip of me using all the products for you guys so you guys can see how they perform and how they work, and I will see you guys afterwards. Hi guys, I started to film and I didn't press play or record. Sorry. So I am using the Jeffree Star Morphe sponge. So if you guys want to see like size difference, because I did all this already. So this is the size difference from like the Morphe like sponge dry and then it wet, and then this is the mini one, dry wet. So a little bit more plumped up. I did mention that it's not as firm as the original Morphe sponge, but it's also a little bit more dense than the Beauty Blender. So it's like right there in the middle, which I actually really like. I feel like the consistency is more similar to the Real Technique sponge, which I really like because it still has a little bit of firmness. I feel like because the Beauty Blender is so bouncy that sometimes it doesn't, depending on what formula you're using, sometimes it's a little sheer. I'm also using the new Stay Naked from Urban Decay. I don't know if this is my exact color. I don't know. It's a little off, but whatever. We don't got time today. I also feel like with my self-tan, it's been really hard to find foundation. Like, I don't know. I feel like I can't find a foundation that exactly matches my self-tan, which is a little frustrating. I did pick up the shade 50 WY because I'm very warm and I have a very yellow undertone. So I felt like this was the closest I could get to my skin tone, but I'm still a little off just because your girl's self-tan, but hopefully with some cream contour and some bronzer, we can even it out. Let's use my e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. Let's use our little mini guy right here. Ah. I don't know about this little sponge. I'm gonna use the regular Morphe sponge on this side just because I feel like this is sucking up so much product that it took away a lot of the coverage from the concealer. So do you guys see the difference? Like this side is really sheer, whereas this side is like full coverage. You can see my dark circle through here, whereas on this side it's like nice and seamless. I feel like the little sponge soaks up a lot of product because even like my nose, like you can see like all of my pores, whereas like watch, if I feel like if I did it again and blended it with this guy, it's a lot of concealer. Whew. Like you see how you can still see the product, which I don't think that you could with the little sponge. Well, that's a bummer. Like I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can see it here. Like this side looks a lot more seamless, whereas this one you can still see like my dark circle. Like I guarantee I could probably cover it up right now. Yeah, see, like now it's even. Like you can't see through the concealer. Well, dang it. All right, well, I guess it's a no on that guy. All right, now let's set her with some Low Rub Marseille. That way we can see how the sponge works with dry products. Looks good. Let's take excess on the nose, my chin, my forehead. Get my smile lines and my eyelids. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face. That way we can just do the eyeshadow. You guys don't have to see me do my whole thing, but I'll be right back. Okay guys, so this foundation is a little too light, but it's gonna have to do because your girl's running late. So now we can get into the fun part. I'm so excited. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and look at what happens when you open it. Ooh. Let me just take a moment to appreciate the fact that Jeffree put out a $35 palette. Insert applause. But guys, this is beautiful. Like I can't even begin to like see where I'm gonna start. So I think I'm gonna go for a more pink look since that's the dress I'm wearing. And we are gonna be testing out his new brushes as well because you know your girl picked up the whole collection. What? So let's see what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll do this as my transition, this on my crease, this in the inner, on the outer V, and then probably the gold in the middle. Yeah. And then probably like the really pretty pink in the inner corner. Or this pink. I don't know, we'll see. Let's see how this goes. Let's see if I change my mind. It also has a huge mirror in it, guys, so it's really good for like travel and stuff because it's huge. So I already set my eyes with concealer and setting powder, so I'm gonna go into the shade Back. And we're gonna work her into the crease as our transition shade. Ooh, look at that pigment already. Like for such a light shade, that's a lot of pigment. Like you can already see it. So there is a tiny bit of kickback in the palette. Not too crazy. And there isn't any fallout so far, so that's a good sign. And this brush is blending like a dream. This is the JS9. All right, next, Next, I think we'll go into the shade Self-Made, which is this really, really pretty hot pink. And I think I'll take this brush, the original one I used. Ooh, she is pigmented. Ooh, look at that. Oh. Okay, let's take it ever so lightly into the crease. So she's pigmented on the brush, but she blends like a dream. So nothing too crazy, which is good. I may even take a little more. Ooh, am I being crazy today? Ooh. So I tapped the brush the first time. I didn't tap it the second time. But it's a lot of pigment, but it's controllable, which I like. It's not like overwhelming or like, you know, when you put, you know, some colors in the crease and you're like, whoa, that's not what I meant to do. But this one is not like that at all. For being like such a vibrant shade. This is such a Jeffree color. Like, it's funny. Like, just the color reminds me of him. Like, it's hilarious. I love it. I think we'll go in with this guy. This is the JS12. So it's, I almost dropped it. Oh my god, I almost dropped a palette. That almost like gave me a heart attack. Alright, I think I'm gonna go into the shade Mogul. I was gonna use Pink Fleet, but I think it has a little bit of sheen in it, so I think I'm just gonna take the matte. I'm gonna go with the purple, and I'm just gonna ever so slightly dab it, and we're gonna work this into the outer V. Okay, so not as pigmented as I thought. I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Calabasas just to darken it up ever so slightly. I wanna see if that works. Oh yeah. That's what I was kind of going for. More of like a darker shade. Yeah, she's way more intense. And then I am gonna go back in with the JS9 and just blend them together. Oh yes. I did have the slightest amount of fallout right here from that shade Calabasas. There wasn't anything crazy, like I dusted off really easily. Okay, now I think I am gonna go in with this gold shade right here, Millions. Beautiful. Oh, look, it like matches my nail. Yes. Oh. Okay. Sorry. Woo. Let's. I'm gonna take my finger. I just want to see how, you know, glitter always does. Oh, look at that. Oh. See, like, won't that just look beautiful? Woo. Okay, let's go. Oh god, look at, oh, that is beautiful. Wow. Wow. I'm shook. That's gorgeous. Let me do my other eye. I need this, like, on my eye right this second. Oh my gosh. I am in love. In love. So it feels like a cream. Like, it feels like a cream. It's a little sticky. Like, that's one thing. Like, it's kind of funny because it feels wet. Like, so when it's on the eye, it feels a little sticky. Ooh, yeah, guys, look at that. Beautiful. So pretty. I love it. Okay, now I think I want to take 2 and put that in the inner corner. I think we need to wet this baby. All right, I'm gonna take the Morphe X Jeffree Star Satin Refresh Mist, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna get the brush a little wet. I think I'm gonna use one of my own brushes, just because I feel like that brush isn't really doing it, and I don't feel like any of the others would do the job I'm looking for. So I'm just taking this flat MAC brush. Just pick up some of that. Yeah, see, that's what I was going for. I think I'm gonna mix it ever so slightly with Custom Rims, the silver shade, just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. Yeah, see, that's what I was going for. Yes. Oh gosh. That way it's not so silver against gold. It's more of like a pinky silver shade mixed right next to that. And then I think I'm actually gonna take the eyebrow brush. I was thinking about taking the eyeliner brush, but I don't think it'll do well for the powder. But I am gonna be taking the shade Fast Lane, and I'm just gonna give myself a little wing, nothing crazy. But ooh, she is pigmented. And literally just stop it right at that gold. Just to give ourselves a little more drama. This is why we do eyeshadow first, ladies and gentlemen. Again, a little fallout with that black shade. Now I'm gonna take that brush again, the JS12, and then I might even just try to see if the excess would be enough. So it was, I don't know. Let me take a little bit of Mogul and drag it all the way in. And then I'm gonna take Calabasas on the outside. Yeah, that's what we're going for. Nice cranberry look. So cute. Oh, I like it. I think that's it for the palette for my eyes. I think that's all I'm gonna put, but I do really like the way they performed. They're really nice. I am, ooh, wait, whoa. Maybe I'll take this champagne on the brow bone. I feel like I need a little more sun. I'm gonna take this flat brush from MAC, and I'm gonna take the shade Designer Label right here, and I'm gonna put that on my brow bone, and let's just see what happens. So I want a little bit more of a kick. Oh yes, that's what we needed. Beautiful. Because we are doing a Jeffree Star palette, we're gonna go in with his OG Roller Lash from Benefit. I'm gonna put on my falsies and then I'll be right back. Okay, now that my face is done, I'm gonna use the Morphe X Jeffree Star Set and Refresh Mist. This is supposed to be starberry scent. So people say like it smells like strawberries, which I'm not opposed to. But I like that it's a continuous mist. Oh, it does smell really, really good. Whew. Okay guys, so for my final thoughts, I do really love this collection. I think everything came out really nicely. I feel like the eyeshadow palette, 10 out of 10. Like no problems there. I love the shade range. I love the colors. I love the names. I love the packaging. I love the formulas. I love everything about that palette. I cannot wait to create more looks with it because it is beautiful. I am in love, over the moon. The eyeshadow brushes, I do really like the ones I got to use. I am really excited to use the ones I haven't, but I do really recommend the ones that I got to use. You also can buy the brushes individually as well, so don't feel pressured to buy the whole collection. You can purchase each brush individually. The mist, I feel like, is really nice. I feel like it is something that, like I said, I do need to use a little bit more before I fully give my props and like, yes, you need to buy this, or I don't know if I would repurchase it yet. I feel like I need to use it a little bit more before I can say that I really like it. And the sponges, like I said, the big one, I love it. I'm so happy with this big one. Like it performed really well. The little guys, however, not so much, but like I said, I am gonna see if I can get some use out of it with like powder and things like that. So hopefully that works out. But overall, this is a really, really good collection. Even if you were to get a 1 or 2 pieces out of it, I feel like it would be a really good investment with your money. It is a really reasonable price point, so I don't feel like it's overpriced or underpriced. I feel like it's priced perfectly. I feel like I got what I paid for and I really, really enjoyed it. So if you guys were thinking about getting it, I wouldn't pass it up. It's a really good collection. But thank you guys so much for watching today. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell, you'll get a notification every time I post a new video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!